Neith. So looking back at the Kemetic civilization, the Kemetic gods, the gods that are associated with what we would call ancient Egypt, this is a goddess Neith, who is one of these beings. Again, we start with the Enid, but we do trace the origins of all these gods per their own mythology back to the Canis star, or the dog star, Canis Major. Now, Neith was recognized as a creator goddess, and not really as well spoken about as many of the other gods from the same pantheon. She was worshipped from approximately 3000 BCE until roughly the end of the what we would call Egyptian Empire. She did have cult centers which were located along the Nile Delta, particularly the city of Sais, which was sacred to her. And you will find her in art references, various sculptures, reliefs, and wall paintings throughout former Kemetic Empire, specifically Lower Kemet. Neith was also listed in the pyramid texts and on that come from Dynasty 20 and other smaller texts and hymns that we see kind of scattered throughout the literature. Neith is specifically the goddess of Lower Kemet, and she is associated with the city of Sais, but also grew to be a national goddess associated with her sanctuary at Memphis. According to legend, when Neith emerged from the primeval ocean to create the world, she followed the course of the Nile River down to the sea, and upon reaching the delta, founded the city of Sais. She is also a birth goddess both of the cosmos and of other deities, especially when she is depicted as a celestial cow. So again, as we talk about looking at mythology, the sacredness of the cow again rears its head in this particular myth. We've already talked about it a little bit with Hathor, and we'll look at some other mythologies that hold the cow to be sacred. So that again will tie Neith into other belief systems as well. And she was also connected as the mother of all the rulers that would be pharaohs in Kemet. Neith is often depicted in human form, wearing a crown of Lower Kemet, and in ancient times, her pre-anthropomorphic symbol was a shield bearing crossed arrows. She is sometimes called upon for advice and judgment, and specifically in the case of the raging 80-plus year battle between Heru and his uncle Set, it was she that Ra turned to for advice, and ultimately it was her decision to grant the empire or kingship to Heru, which was his righteous place. So she continued to be talked about in myth in lesser tones. At some point she becomes the consort of Seth, and in other legends she is directly the mother of the crocodile god Sobek. So Neith, again, a member of this pantheon of beings that come from Canis Major. Her influence was as this mother goddess, and though time has forgotten her, she remains an important character for us to understand, not only in her role as the mother goddess or the creator goddess, but also in her role, her representation of the sacred cow. Thank you again for joining us at Nine World Chronicles, and we'll talk more about Neith and some of the characters that are attached to and compared to her here at Nine World Chronicles.